Okay, so I'm going to talk about believing tonight. One thing I want to say about believing is that there have been times in the world where you were forced to believe. The government's mandated you have a certain belief, right? Their belief. You had to believe the way they believe. That doesn't exist today. So you don't have to believe. You don't have to have any faith whatsoever. You're free to go and be the greatest atheist the world ever created. You're free to do whatever you want. And I'll say, if you choose that, God bless you. I think you're making the wrong choice, but God bless you. But if you are choosing to believe, you have to know what those consequences are and what's expected of you as people who choose to believe. You see, if there is a heaven and there is a hell, how we live in this life will determine where we end up. As I said last night, I don't believe that God sends anybody to hell, but we do it by our actions, by choosing the world over God. It's our determination. So how do we live our lives in a way which points us in the direction of God and heaven and eternal life? I forgot there it is. I'm going to give you 4 ways we can look at our lives tonight and make that decision and make that choice. Years ago, a friend of mine, I grew up with them, the Rocks family. They went to Blessed Sacrament down over here on Oakland Boulevard and off El Cerrito, I think the street is. And when Mrs. Rocks died, she said, or was about to die, she told her sons, I'd like Mark to come and do my eulogy. So they called me up and they said, hey, would you be willing to go and do Mom's eulogy? And I said, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. And I said, can I speak with her? And they said, yes. She's at Alvarado Hospital. I went and I met with her and we talked for a little while. And I said, Mrs. Rocks, are you ready to go? And she said, yes. And I said, are you afraid of anything? She said, oh, I'm afraid of one thing. And I said, what's that? She said, purgatory. You see, if you're of a certain age, we were raised that you go to purgatory, they're going to burn those sins out of you. And she was scared to death of going to purgatory. And one of her kids standing behind me said, well, Mom, the way you treated us, you're going to be there a long, long time. Nice kid, huh? When Father asked me to come and do this mission, I told him that I was going to talk the third night on believing. But I had no idea what the readings were going to be, because we actually even had to switch the date for the mission at one point. And the readings this Sunday are interesting readings for the gospel. Now, this time of year, when you go to Mass, because you have some people going through the sacraments, on your 9 a.m. Mass and your 1 o'clock Spanish Mass, they're going to do different readings. They're going to do the scrutiny readings, which this Sunday is the man who was born blind. But all the rest of the Masses, the reading for this cycle B is John 3:16 is the gospel. How many of you know that John 3:16? Who knows it? You do? Here, let me put this in front of you because I'd like to hear it.
Protestant or Catholic version.
There you go. See, that's what I'm going to point out. Which one do you want to do?
I'd like to do the Catholic one.
Okay, he said, which one do I want, the Protestant one or the Catholic one? And that's the thing I was going to make mention of, because there's a difference. And we'll point it out here. Yes, go on. You can do the Catholic one?
Sure.
All right. Do it well. There's a lot of people listening.
God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, so that all who believe in him may have eternal life.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
It's close enough. No, you don't expect Catholics to know the Bible, so that's, it's good. This is a born and raised Catholic, so I can say that. No, it's pretty darn close. Okay, how many have heard this version? For God so loved the world that he gave his only beloved Son, that whoever believes in him will not die and will have eternal life. How many have heard that? That's the Protestant version. That's the Protestant version. The way he said it And on Sunday, if you go to Mass, which I recommend you do, you're gonna hear this. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him might not die and might have eternal life. Wow. Protestant version, will not die, will have eternal life. Catholic version, might not die, might have eternal life. My word. Oh, he's going to look it up, see if I'm right. I think it can be argued that it's a semantic. No, look it up. I'm right. Don't worry about it. It's a semantics different in one way, and yet it's a profound difference in another way, right? One is a guarantee. It's a comfort verse. And the other, the Catholic version, is a challenge verse. Might not die, might have eternal life. So what's the difference? I think the difference is this. There's more to believing than just saying, I believe. There's more to believing than saying, I believe. Protestants will get mad at us Catholics because they think that we Catholics say that you have to earn heaven. Catholics have never said that. We don't say that. You cannot earn heaven. It's a gift given to us by God, okay? Make that clear. It is a gift. That is Catholic teaching. It is a gift given to us by Jesus' sacrifice on that cross. That has opened the gates of heaven for us. But we can certainly lose it if we do not live in accordance with that belief. Does that make sense to you? So when we say we believe, it doesn't mean that we have to do anything to earn it, but we do have to do something to show that we truly believe. When James and Paul both had different concepts of this thing called believing. Paul said you are saved by faith, right? And James said we are saved by works. You have faith by your works, right? And so sometimes people get those confused. I suggest to you that they are two sides of the very same coin. When you are saved, when you believe, your works automatically follow you. They automatically follow. You automatically do things differently. You automatically become a different person. This concept of born again means you become a different person. That's what it means. You become it. It's not anything more fancy than that. 4 ways we can look at our life to determine whether or not we believe. 1, change.